Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be testing out the brand new Rare Beauty bronzer stick as well as the Rare Beauty powder. These are brand new products that just launched and I just reviewed them. I have kind of two sides going on here, and I did use it with the Rare Beauty foundation, which you guys know I am not a fan of, and I just wanted to test these products against this first, and there will be a part 2 with these products tested on my everyday makeup. So I cannot wait to see how that turns out versus this video. And if you want to see how these products worked for me in this video with the Rare Beauty products, definitely keep watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get to the video. Okay, so first thing is first, we need to add the Rare Beauty foundation. I have mine in the shade 180W, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply my go-to everyday primer, which is the Professional Hydrate Primer. So I'm just going to apply this to the skin, and I really like to just push the product into the skin with my e.l.f. Putty Primer Brush. Okay, so now that primer is taken care of, I'm gonna take my foundation and I'm gonna give it a good shake because they recommend that. And every time I've used this, I've only used it twice. I've used a brush, so I'm actually gonna try it this time with a sponge and see if I get a different, like, situation, coverage, finish, and all that, because this has not worked for me as a foundation, but I am trying it today to see how the powder works with it and how the bronzer works with it, because I feel like the powder should go hand in hand with the foundation, considering the facts of powder not working with this foundation in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a light layer to the skin. One thing I don't like about this foundation is how oily it feels as soon as it hits the skin. But then again, this is also a product that's for people with really dry skin, which I don't really suffer from, but my skin is a little bit dry right now because it has been cooler out. Maybe it'll also act differently with my skin during the winter months, but I'm just going to apply this with the sponge really quick and I will be right back. I would like to add that close up, this is horrifically ugly with the sponge. So I shall finish it with a brush. How is this turning into a foundation review again? Like, oh my gosh. I have to add more because it like wiped everything off of my cheek. Like, how rude. This stuff is just... Hopefully the powder can make this actually work good. To add to my off-topic foundation review that I seem to be doing, my skin does have dry patches and peach fuzz, and this foundation is clinging to all of it. Oh, man. I don't even know if you can tell. Yeah, this foundation's not it, but hopefully the powder will save it. Now, next up, we have to conceal, so I'm just going to use my Tarte Shape Tape really quick, and I will be right back to actually get to what the review is all about. On camera, it looks really good, at least in the viewfinder, but in person, I hate this foundation. Okay, so now to get on what everybody has been waiting for, the Warm Wishes Effortless Bronzer Stick. I have mine in the shade Power Boost, which was the lightest shade offered, and there's only, I think, 5 shades, which I saw that and I was like, that's very horrible. First impression, packaging is super cute. It's not like any of the other stick products like the Jaclyn Hill blush stick, Ciate London Dewy Balm stick, or anything like that, Merit Beauty Glow Balm stick. This definitely has more of a unique packaging. This feels nice and on the cheap side, but also like there was thought put into it. And here is what this looks like with the stick. It definitely looks more orange on camera than it does in person, which is kind of strange, but that's probably just my camera settings. But this looks truly like neutral, but in like the light it looks a little orange. Super strange. But let's go ahead and let's just swatch it on the back of the hand real quick. Oh, this is actually a really pretty color. and it's very, very on point creamy, like ready to go. So let's go ahead and start applying. So I'm just going to poke it into the skin. And I'm just gonna do like super, super light at first. I'm gonna take the wet sponge and see what it looks like if I blend it in with a damp sponge. Okay, so that removed oh, my foundation. 1 second. Okay, so wet sponges take away the product. So I'm gonna use my brush, my Morphe E63 brush that I use with my bronzers that are cream, and just apply this to the skin. Okay, all I'm doing is tapping this product into my skin and the foundation below is going away. Like, I'm not swiping or anything, I'm tapping it in to my skin. I definitely applied too much product, but right now I'm just trying to see what this does. All right, so verdict, it removes makeup underneath. Okay, but it keeps the bronze on top, which is just, it's off-putting. It doesn't look right. So I'm going to add this to the other side and use my fingers, and I'm just going to do a wide array. Like, we're just testing right now what this does, because it's And this is why we're doing a part 2. We have to put this to the test with like everyday staples, and so far it's not working for me with Rare Beauty, but I kind of almost was like thinking it might not. It's definitely not as bad as this side, but I can see that it's not blending out well with my fingers. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply the cream blush in Nearly Apricot to the back of a sponge and apply over top. I just want to note that this actually completely took over the bronzer. So let's do this with our fingers. Okay, so far, absolutely not a fan. But then again, like I said, it's probably more than likely the foundation. So, and obviously I'm testing things, so it's not looking like how I would normally do it. I'm just like expanding the range. So now let's go ahead and play with this powder. I have mine in the shade Light. This is what the packaging looks like, and it looks pink. So let's just see what the foundation and everything looks like when you apply the powder on top. I'm going to take this clean brush from Blinged Brushes. I'm going to first, whoops. Well, I'm going to first apply this to the foundation on top. Now I'm going to take the powder with my baking sponge and apply this under the eyes. Oh, I look like I aged 1,000 years. Like, this is not what my normal under eye crack looks like. This is not good. Now that we've done that, let's try and apply the bronzer on top of the powder, which you should not do, but let's just see what happens, because this is still a part 1. Actually doesn't seem to have a problem blending over top the powder. It almost seems like it's working better blended over top of the powder. might be something to note. So I'm not going to do a wear test on this portion because obviously it's just not working with the Rare Beauty foundation, which I didn't think it would. Let me just for funsies play with this Rare Beauty highlighter, which I know it's not going to work for me because it's too dark, but I just want to play with it anyways to see what it does. So I'm just going to pat this down with a wet sponge just for fun. Of course, the wet sponge pulls that up. Even over powder, it pulls up the foundation underneath. Actually, you know what? Sheared out, this actually I think can work for me. Oh, you learn something new every day. Let's blend this in with our fingers. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm so glad I tried this because like I can now try it, you know? It's definitely much more subtle when you just use your finger. So the verdict is that damp sponges just does not work for Rare Beauty at all. Though a dry sponge definitely works. So maybe one of these days I'll try like a full face of Rare Beauty with a dry sponge because I just really want this to work because I love Selena Gomez so much. But her products just don't really work for me. But the blending it with my finger side looks a lot more natural. Not really a problem. But the blush did. Even though I kept it to the top portion versus all over. This side's kind of like an experiment side anyways because it just was all going downhill. But this side looks so much better, but you can't even tell that the bronzer was there. It kind of looks, I don't know, this is a very natural side, which is what Rare Beauty is. It's a very natural looking like situation. I do think the powder made those products look a lot better on the skin, but as for like the powder working with the foundation, not so much. But again, that's just me. So if you're someone who has tried the Rare Beauty foundation, these products probably won't work for you if you did not enjoy the foundation. They might work for you if you love the foundation, but for me it just doesn't work for my skin, and these products don't work for me on the foundation on my skin, which is why this is going to be a part 1 and part 2. So we're going to test this out momentarily for my everyday makeup and stuff to see what it looks like and all of that. But you guys know that Rare Beauty cream blushes are known to fade away throughout the day, which I can already tell it's starting to kind of like not really see it as much, which that's a very known fact, but I love them for that because I just like when I want something very light, the Rare Beauties are very, very good for that. But looking at it, I'm like, it's starting to look very fluttering away. But thank you guys so much for being here and watching. I will see you in part 2 to show you these products in action with my everyday makeup and to see if they work with my everyday makeup, because clearly they just don't really work very well with the Rare Beauty foundation and such. But again, the Rare Beauty foundation just doesn't work for my skin. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in part 2. Bye!